Hi, this is Eric at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and this is Florida Natural Farming. Today I'm going to talk about the guava, the Psidium guayaba, or I'm also going to talk about the Psidium longipetiolatum and the Psidium eugeniaefolia, the Mountain Cherry Guava and the Purle Forest Guava. They're not really guavas, but neither is the Cattleya guavas, but they're kind of like that, but they're similar. They're in the Psidium family. So we've had 13 inches of rain in this is the 4th day, so it's just been an insane amount of rain, and basically we don't have any standing water except in our ditches that were made before I got here and on areas where I've mowed this path. But next to the path, there's no standing water, and it's just minimal on the paths. It's like an inch thick at the deepest part. But all around us is just covered in water, and the neighbor's property is completely flooded out, their forest. They mow their forest. It's just, I don't know. Mowing causes compaction, which prevents water from moving through the soil. And when you mow it, it doesn't put carbon into the sand, which you get with the unmowed living root, and therefore the soil becomes highly acidic and makes calcium unable to be uptaken by plants, even though we're on a calcareous rock, and the sand is made of shells and crushed shells and coral, which is calcium carbonate when water moves through it. But because they mow, and they recommend mowing, and then they put mulch down, whether it's fabric, plastic mulch, which is the worst thing you could possibly do to your soil, and or wood chips on mowed land that is walked all over it. It compacts it, and the wood chips break down into carbonic acid, which prevents plants from growing, basically. That's why your roots turn brown in the potting soil. So when you plant plants, never put the potting soil in the hole. Always remove it and rinse the soil. Rinse the roots in rainwater. I'm working my way over to the Psidium longipetiolatum, the purple, or no, this is Psidium eugeniaefolia, the purple mountain guava. This is a gift from my friend Frank. The guavas are highly medicinal. They're full of bioactive compounds. They've been used for generations for health benefits. The National Institute of Health has done numerous studies on the Psidium guayaba, the guava. There's a little cashew seedling I see popping up. They're just full of chemical constituents that are antioxidants, phytochemicals, whatever you want to call them, that have been shown to prevent or aid in the prevention of cancer, and they are for hepatic protective, meaning they protect your liver. They're for antidiarreahal. In folk medicine, they use that for. They're for ulcers, anti-ulcerative compounds, full of polyphenols and phenollic compounds and carotenes and anthocyanamines that's in pomegranates. I'm going to do a link to a couple of studies so that you could look it up yourself. It'll be in the reference at the bottom of the description of the video. And they're just amazing plants. I have known that if you eat a guava, well, this is like folklore, but if you eat a guava a year, you won't get sick. That hasn't been the truth for me since COVID. But the leaves have been shown to be highly medicinal, and I've done lots of talks on leaves and stuff, and the medicinal qualities of all these rare tropical fruit trees. So this is the Giant Crunhy White Guava, developed in Asia, I believe. I have a couple of these. These are all that I'm showing right now have been gifts from my friend Frank. They're all seed-grown trees. He gave me so many different guavas. Here's another one. This one would be a lot bigger, but when I was collecting weeds, I accidentally broke off part of it. But they're just amazing plants, and they're so easy to grow here, and you don't have to water them. We don't water anything. I had my friend Tim, who I've known for quite a while, come by here. He's a holistic natural grower, like most of you that watch this, and he brought his good friend Jack, who has a YouTube channel called Urban Abundance. I'll do a link to it. He sets up vegetable gardens for people in their yards and maintains them. He's on a journey. He didn't ever watch any of my videos, so he got the kind of like the condensed, not really pleasant form of me relaying information. The first time I meet somebody that's never watched any of my videos and he questioned whether I was telling the truth about whether I water or not, and that just set me off, and I didn't realize that he hadn't watched any of my videos. He just couldn't believe that we don't water here. And so his regenerative journey has obviously just begun, but he's very young, so I'm sure he's going to outperform me in the near future, because he seems like he wants to learn and grow as build knowledge as a grower. So I was glad he brought him by. He had I looked at a couple of his videos. I had Paul from Fruitful Trees here once do a video. It was not a good experience for me. But Paul told me that he used human manure to grow his fruit trees in. And I thought he was kidding, to be honest with you. That's why I never said anything about it. But there's a podcast with him on Jack's Urban Abundance channel, saying what I just said, that he uses manure to grow human manure, to grow his food. And that's really not a healthy option. And it just is like so scary that somebody would even do that today, knowing that our human manure is full of PFASs. And it's just a good way to get disease. It's been documented, it's shown, so it's just not a good thing. On landscape plants, sure, but not on food crops. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. So this is the red Indian Guava. It's supposed to be really good. You can see it's got a red stem. It's not that one with the red leaves, but it's gotten quite large. So I'm quite excited about that. That was a gift from my friend Frank. Thank you, Frank and Annette. There's a few others through here, but I can't really find them now. I'm going to go look at the Ruby Supreme. We have a big Ruby Supreme. I only had one guava because I wasn't a big guava fan. And after watching Dan's Food Forest, who is an amazing progressive grower who should be teaching everyone urban farming, I'll do a link to his channel too, Dan's Food Forest, if you haven't tuned into him. He's just really, I consider him like a mentor to me for YouTube. And he grows guavas from seeds. So here's our guava tree, and it's covered with fruit. And this tree produces fruit pretty much year round. Big fruit, nice fruit. Sometimes if it has lots of fruit on it, they're smaller. And it's just crowded in with sugar cane and bananas and ginger and everything. And if you question this way of gardening, please watch my videos, my most recent videos, the September, 28th, the September 28th video, 2023 video is very good. And you will see why we do it, and I totally explain it in that. But This is the Ruby Supreme Guava. It's quite a large tree. So it's growing right next to this achacha tree. That's a weed. We don't pull the weeds. We don't cut the weeds. They're an important source of moisture and nutrients for our trees. And I looked at UFL, but it's the same old stuff. I'm not even going to provide a link. Just their whole information is just completely wrong, and for growing in the home landscape, and it's totally destructive. And then to use pesticides, and I like them when they're a little green like this, crunchy and green. Oh, it's very sweet. No worms. There's never any worms in our fruit. I don't grow Cattleya guavas because they grow really well in cold climates, and I had them huge here, and not here, at my first place here. There, I had 20-foot trees. The people we sold the property to chopped them all down. I just couldn't believe they chopped them down. Huge, giant Cattleya guavas, strawberry, and you know, there's Psidium Cattleya in them or something like that. Here's a seed-grown black sapote tree, but these are quite good. I mean, they're so delicious. I can't believe I ever said I didn't like them. So in here, there's all kinds of stuff growing, but I have some tree that Frank gave me. It's the Psidium longipetiolatum. I'll put it in the description. And it's the Mountain Cherry Guava. And what a beautiful tree. I mean, look, this is a seed-grown tree, and it looks like it might be having some flower buds, possibly, but I don't know. I don't know how big they need to be before they start fruiting. Maybe those are new leaves. There's probably new leaves because there's a pair of them. But I imagine it's going to fruit some soon, and they're very hard to get information on the these other Psidiums, the Cherry Mountain Guava and the Purple Mountain Guava, because they just, there's, from the National Institute of Health, they just only have studied the guavas, the Guayabas, the Psidium guava. Here's a big achachiro tree. So this big achiro tree is the only achachiro tree that I bought from a nursery that I planted in full sun and never watered, and it's the largest one. Because we did connect a lot of our nursery trees to water for a brief period, like 9 months, 2 years after we'd been here, or something like that. It was a while after we'd been here, just because nothing was growing in the wood chips and I'll try to go over to this guava on this side. In the wood chips and the lawn system, because we kept it lawn and did wood chips, and just stuff wouldn't grow. It just wouldn't freaking grow. And so my partner thought it was water, and then so we turned the water on, and it killed a lot of stuff because of the high pH in the water that we were using from our well, and it was from a deep well, so it was calcium carbonate infused water. So here's that guava over here. It's a nice looking tree. That'd be a nice tree for kids to climb, I would think. This is a nursery grown tree from Lara Farms. They're good guavas. Everyone can grow. When I haven't thrown it down yet, I know I like it, but it took me a while. Dan's Food Forest, he grows all kinds of seed guavas, white ones and different ones. Just, he has a lot. For such a small yard, he has a lot packed in it, but he uses fresh animal manures like I do. He has ducks and chickens. They're perfect for backyards. And ever since he got them, his place just started popping. Sure, it was a little older, but it just showed how important it is to use animal manures. Not human manure, but animal manure. I'm sure if you don't have anything and you're living in a wasteland, I guess, and you weren't eating polluted food from America, basically, because the food here is polluted, then I could see your need to use human manure that was composted. But If you have a backyard, you can get some rabbits and ducks, chickens. This is Bernicky, black sapote, Bernicker, and there's our Miko lemons. They're starting to ripen up. I can't wait. They're delicious lemons. There's a lot of them. Not a lot, but more than I thought we'd get, because they, it flowered during the winter drought last year. We were not affected by the drought whatsoever. When you have a system like this, and it's like got all this stuff in it, this is all holds water. All these plants hold water, and they hold it in the soil where you need it, in the roots. And that's how we're able to have have everything survive and not have to water anything. They formed relationships with the microorganisms in the soil, which distribute the water and the nutrients to the trees. So if you're spraying copper or any other fungicide, or you're using micronutrients, or you're using fertilizers, fertilizers, especially nitrogen fertilizers, have shown to weaken the tissue of plants and making them more susceptible to pests and disease. It just doesn't make sense to use them, especially since they're forever chemical-filled poisons, basically. I mean, that's what they're made from. They're made from industrial waste, whether it's from animal or human or industry. That's how they make ammonia nitrogen salts. Those people just got killed in, I think, Indiana, by a truck exploding, hauling ammonia fertilizer liquid, obviously, for plants. We don't even need to do it, but yet we've killed all the microorganisms in Florida with our, mowing the yards and compacting the soil and spraying the copper. Copper does cause cognitive decline in children, and it's been shown to be a contributor to Alzheimer's in adults. So to use these things, they're life killers. To think that anybody has to water anything around here in Florida is just totally bizarre to me. Probably if you have raised garden beds, you might have to. But if you're growing in the ground, I don't even water our vegetables. It's doing great this year, our vegetable garden. So it just seems crazy to me that people feel they have to use water, especially since the water in Florida is mostly polluted. That's that Jack from Urban Abundance. He didn't even realize that Florida's water was highly polluted, but he is obviously wanting to learn. So that's a good thing. 7 years left of fresh water in Florida, they say, clean water. It's hard to believe, such a wet place, but we have the most polluted lakes in the nation. It's very sad that they've hauled all these chemicals from chemical factories to Florida and thrown them on the ground. And then they use the fungicides, which are made from heavy metals, which are really bad for us, really bad. And it just leaches right into the groundwater. Then when they use the water, it adds the PFAS, the forever chemicals, to the equation, and it's just a toxic soup. And then if you're putting shade cloth on the ground, it's made out of polypropylene, which has been shown to have a layer of fire retardant. So a PFAS-filled plastic that, when breaks down, it goes into your soil. So you're polluting your groundwater when you use stuff like that. My little boy Romy has been so good. I just love him. He's such a good boy. Hi, Romy, a little sweetie. You want some guava? No? It's good. I'm gonna eat it. He's so sweet. These miniature zebus are the most perfect fertilizer for Florida. And They're a gift to us from Hindustan, what, India, most people know as. And they are not these exactly, but they're as close as we can get in the U.S. to what they use in Ayurvedic medicine, so which they use for growing plants. So they use the butter, the ghee, the urine, and the manure for health of plants and animals and the environment. And their stuff is just so important here. And I really feel that it's the reason for our success. In fact, I know it is. In addition with some orchard floor management of, staying off of it and not mowing and letting the weeds grow out and not just having a monocrop of, say, perennial peanut, but having a multi-diverse orchard floor. Grass is very important because it's like where the fungi that is responsible basically for the water cycle and the nutrient cycle in your plants. So it will prevent your plants from freezing if you have a highly efficient or a highly diverse microbiological system below ground that creates the superorganism, what is known as the superorganism. Anyway. That's it. That's my video on guava, Guayaba. And I hope you liked it. And please like, share, and subscribe to Florida Natural Farming and spread the word to try to help cure our water pollution and issues like nitrate runoff that's killing the coral and everything else. Anyway, have an excellent day.